Hello, good morning, and welcome to this final wrap up session for our course on Marketing Management 1. We have organized this wrap up session to answer your live questions. And if we receive uh, many questions that we cannot cover during this session, then we will organize another session later on if required. First, let me clarify who we are. You know me, I'm Jayanto Chatterjee from IIT Kanpur, and here I have the two teaching assistants who have been helping us in this course. This is Shomnath Bhattacharya, and he has answered many of your questions on the forum. And here is Priyanka Sharma, and both of them are doing PhD at IIT Kanpur, and marketing is their key area of interest. So you are in good company, and let us look at the various questions that you have sent. Now, firstly, there are questions which are relating to the certificate and fees and various kinds of evaluation. These questions, Shomnath, you can answer on the forum. We need not take up everybody's time. These questions we can take individually on the forum because these are very personal questions. We would like to focus in this live session on questions which are related to the subject matter, and questions which pertain to various sessions that we have had, and questions which may be alluding to to areas which we have not covered in detail. So I would like to take up first this question which has come from Manu Singh, and his question is that what are the various stages of product development? And there are some similar questions from others, like for example this question from Praveen, who has asked about the various stages of growing a business, service business. He has mentioned the business of coaching or educational tutoring service, and what marketing strategies are required at the various stages. If you see this screen, the image on the screen in front of you, you will see that we have in the very early stage, this is what we call the introduction stage. For a product, new product being launched, like Manu has talked about, or somebody else has talked about launching an online service for selling textile in Gujarat. Who is that? That is a question from Mohit Israni from Rajkot. Now, all of these questions you can see in the perspective of this particular diagram. So, first we have what we call the introduction stage. The kind of buyers we are looking for at that stage, we call them the pioneers. These are people who are risk takers. These are people who may be well known to you, so they may favor you with their initial purchase. They may be people who will be ready to experiment with a new product or with a new service. We know that normally from a total population of people who might be the target market, these people will be maybe 5-6% of the total population. This is a very crucial stage for an entrepreneur. This is what we say, how to get the first 100 customers. So getting this first 100 customers, it's a fuzzy area. There is no grammar, there is no clear cut methodology. You have to really work stage by stage, person by person to get these what we call alpha customers. Important here to say to look at this alpha and beta customer segmentation to start your business. Alpha customers will be customers you know, customers who are also of the pioneering type. That means they are ready to take some risk. That risk they might take because they have personal trust in you. So look among your friends, relatives, friends of friends to get your pioneer customers. Always observe them. To be a good pioneer customer, that customer must be ready to experiment with a new product or service, must be in that nature. So avoid the people who are conservative, who are very cautious, and look for people who are, and very often these are young customers, but could be also people at different age groups. So who are pioneer customers will be primarily signified by their ability to take risk and their attitude towards experimentation. Once you have these people and work with these people with your product or service, remember you are not yet in the market. So based on the feedback from the alpha customers, so when you approach the alpha customers, you should have what we call a minimum viable product or a minimum viable service. There is this whole area of lean entrepreneurship, and that talks about that in today's world you need not wait, and the e-commerce companies use it very often, that you need not wait for the fully functional, totally worked out, bug-free, defect-free product or service to start your business. Have a prototype or a late stage prototype, have something that is working, may not be as yet fully functional, but go to these alpha customers. So if you are starting an e-commerce service for Gujarat with certain local kind of ethnic textile and so on, so create a website, have the general functionality ready, and then go to some known customers who will be in this segment, satisfy the pioneering characteristics, but also they must be people who will trust you and you can trust them, that they will not actually malign your new venture or not talk on the forum or on the social media about your defects. They are people who should be interested to help you and give you the feedback. So then you rapidly respond to those feedbacks. Create the next generation. And this is the stage where you have to be able to make rapid changes. There may be many revisions at this stage. When you have then a product or a service which is reasonably working well, alpha customers are kind of attracted. They may not be satisfied. Alpha customers are very seldom totally satisfied. They will always give you more suggestions, more ideas. But they say, okay, it is working. This is a stage, and I would say that for most normal ventures, these number of alpha customers will be maybe 20, 30, 50, depending on your size, ambition. The next stage is of the beta customer. So it's kind of going towards here. This is the stage. The beta customers are customers who are not exactly totally known to you, but they are people who are like friends of friends, people who are actually also ready to experiment. They show the same characteristics as the pioneers, but they may be technically more demanding. They will be more open with their suggestions and comments. So you go to these beta customers. To give you an example, like Reliance Jio, they are launching a new 4G service, data service. So they first went to, I think, 500 or 1000 of their employees who are involved in the Reliance Jio communication business. And so these are the alpha customers. These are customers who have some technical knowledge about what is happening. They are people who are interested in this particular business service. Then, on the basis of their feedback, a lot of changes and improvements have been made. And then I understand that the service was opened to the family members and friends of these initial 500 or 1000. At that stage, the service was also opened to people who are employees of Reliance in various other kinds of businesses of Reliance. So, but they were chosen with this beta customer profile. That means they were chosen on the basis of their technical competence to give feedback on the service. And they were asked to give these inputs often through gatherings, through group discussion, and so on. So the alpha customers help them to make the service more or less launchable. The beta customers help them to refine it and do some sustained operations to check out under load how it will function and so on. So in general, this approach of getting the alpha and beta customers at this stage and then go to the next stage is important. Now, one of the things that we have discussed earlier in one of the sessions is about this chasm concept. The concept that people who are satisfied at this stage may not show all the characteristics that are required to succeed in the later stage. In the later stage, when you are catching the growth phase, you will be dealing with the early majority of the customers. These customers will not be risk takers. They will be risk averse. There will be people who will be open to invest in a new product or service, but they will be driven more by what they require versus what you are offering. So the features, the capabilities, all those issues will become very much important. Also very important in this transition from the pioneers or innovators to the majority is that often it has to go by segment. So in catching the early majority, it is very important that you have to go segment by segment. So choosing a segment to whom your product or your service will be of high importance. There is a good match between their requirement and your features or attributes is very important. So early segmentation should be very slim, should be very specific, should have as much match as possible between features and customer requirements, so that the next segment, which should be an adjacent segment, so the idea is you land at some point and then go step by step to expand your market front. This is in literature it has often been compared with the Second World War D-Day landing. That means you actually land at Normandy. That means you land at a very chosen specific segment and then gradually expand. That gradual depends on the velocity of that particular business or that particular market. So in some cases gradual means over 1 year, in some cases gradual may mean over 3 months. But then you go sort of step by step, segment by segment. That is the way to win in the early majority market. So this is important. So take for example your this idea about Praveen's new service enterprise for tutoring, for coaching, and he has talked about creating a special coaching service for dropouts or people who have failed and so on. So here again, you have to first get customers through initial customers through your contacts, personal acquaintances. You may get initially only 10 students, but if you are able to deliver the right kind of service for these kind of students, students who are weak, students who need personal hand holding, students who need nurturing, students who may need not only educational input but also psychological counseling or career counseling, students who may need parents teachers meeting so that the parents are also sensitized to the particular needs of that student. So if you are able to create this kind of a special attention oriented tutoring service with 10 students, if you are doing it correctly, then within the first 2 months you will be able to create a small buzz. The parents of these students themselves will start talking to others about the kind of tutoring they are receiving. So the point I'm trying to make is, if you are wanting to create a new service or create a new product, A, you cannot be everything to everybody. You need to create a specific distinctive position. You need to create a value package which makes high sense to a particular type of customer segment, and start there. Earn their trust.
And then move
They
on.
become your alpha customers.
Sir, a very related question that comes to my mind here is, what should be the pricing for a new product, or when I'm taking it to the alpha customers and then to beta customers, what should be my starting strategies to price that product so that they are also willing to test it and give me a feedback? And
You see, it varies based on the type of product.
okay.
So if you are in a staple product business, that means you are into convenience products, regularly purchased products like toothpaste or soap or things like that of daily use, then if you are coming up with a new product, your pricing strategy cannot go too far away from the prevailing price
in
level.
the market.
So that means you have to mark to the market. But if you are going into a specialty product, like say this ethnic Gujarat
Apparel.
textile, ethnic textile with specific types of designs and features sourced from Gujarat, this is not convenience product. This you can put either in the like shopping or maybe specialty.
Specialty.
In this case is actually price is not a very important
Criteria.
feature for the pioneers.
Okay.
Okay, so you should not price it definitely below the market level. You can actually if you charge 15% extra, usually these pioneers will not bother about it. In case of the service like the tutoring that we talked about,
Right.
again you will have to be if you are clear that yes, you do have special competence like that psychological counseling or creating those kinds of special environment for weak students. If you do have really something different, something special, something additional, not available from other tutorials,
Some differentiation.
differentiation, clear cut. Then at the early stage, at this stage, it may be better that you charge a little bit extra.
Extra.
Your price is marginally higher, because often people associate
Price with quality.
in this kind of the tutoring is like a credence service, as we have discussed these differences,
Types of
transactional services, experiential services, and credence services. So in credence services, where the result will be known after some time, it is better as a to take a special pricing position, because you are, but don't do it if you do not have something real to offer. I mean, do not do a special pricing based on pretension. Okay, so look into the reality of your actual offering. Also, I think I will like to point out that this introduction stage, some of the academic points that is good to make is that you have to lay a regular foundation. You have to be very clear about the steps that you want to follow. Now, at this stage, there are certain, just like when you plant a small tree, then you can put a fence around it so that it is not eaten away by animals and so on. So similarly, there are, in every country, there are some regulatory protections and other different types of restrictions in competition that help young entrepreneurs or new businesses. So like trademark or patent are examples. One of the questions that we have received is the difference between trademark and brand. Trademark, just like patent or just like service mark, is a kind of protection for a business with respect to its offerings. Whereas brand is, a trademark can be, because a trademark usually will be a symbol or will be a name or will be a design, color. It will be part of the brand framework, but only a small part of it. The brand has a much bigger position, right? I mean, what is your opinion about a brand in that sense?
So what I feel that brand includes everything from symbol to jingles, the name, the logos, the mascot, everything that a consumer can relate with. So a brand is what you can say, it's a bigger umbrella under which a trademark is one of those elements, and creating a brand is very important. And
Right. So brand is more like the mindset or the capturing of the mind that a product does, and trademark is a legally protected part of that particular brand.
Right.
Say if we have a brand of Pepsi, then the logo of Pepsi, which is protected by law, is the trademark, while the mind share that Pepsi has been able to capture talks about the brand of Pepsi in the consumer's mind.
Sure.
and brand helps you to charge a little bit premium on your products and services, because that is how people value that particular service or the product offerings.
And we were discussing just now about this, tutoring service for special children, or a textile business for special type of textiles. Now, it's very important that if you have true distinctive offering, if you have some value proposition which is unique or not available in the current market environment, then it is very important to lay the foundation for your branding based on that differentiation. And so this is one of the pioneering activities. This first mover advantage that we often talk about is also nothing but your first portrayal of your brand. And brand and value proposition, I often find, can go very well together, can be almost synonymous at the early stage. The brand at a later stage, it acquires many other layers beyond the value proposition. I mean, the logical value proposition, or very clearly identifiable value proposition. Older brands, long sustaining brands, have other layers that come up on top of the logical or factual reasons or triggers. It actually has some emotional involvement, it has some intuitive trust, and various other elements that come. But at the early stage, based on facts, based on reality, based on the properties of your products or services, you must create some distinctive message that is embedded in your brand.
statement or-
For example, this brand of new soft drinks, Paper Boat, you have all seen it. Now, you see, their branding strategy, which is based on nostalgia and ethnic drinks and generally organic and health oriented drinks. Uh, Besides those messages that it is nostalgia, it is something that you would remember your childhood, and it is healthy and natural and so on. Besides that, they have also taken very good steps towards creating, say, the bottle, which is not a normal bottle.
Right.
You know, it's a
Easy to
collapsible,
carry.
Shape.
the distinctive shape,
Yeah.
and it is,
You
know,
can recap it and save it for later consumption also.
exactly, and you can share it with others, like so. So it's different from many positions taken by the conventional soft
Fruit
drinks
juice stuff.
or fruit juices. So this is uh, a very good example of a pioneering approach, well supported by packaging, the message in the product or service, the distribution. All those issues come together to support this distinctive brand positioning Paper Boat
Has
Wants to create.
wants to
Wants
create.
to create a supply.
Okay. In the early growth stage, which we were discussing, you know, your strategic options are continuing to be the leader. But you have to, at this stage, have very clear cut strategy how to go this, what we were discussing, go segment by segment, how to expand your market and not try to go as a whole. And at this stage, you have to also be often be prepared that you may not as you go segment by segment. In some segments, you may face stiff resistance. So instead of, you know, trying to crack that segment, you may see that you don't ignore the low hanging fruits or more easily approachable segments. Okay, so so early growth leaders, they have four different options. One is enhance position, maintain position, retreat, or exit. So I would say that exit is a completely different option. We are not discussing that. The kind of questions we have, like this ethnic textile marketing or tutorial services marketing and so on. In these cases, you have to understand that in some cases you must stay with the same segment. Like I would say, this tutoring service for children or students who need special care. This itself is a very highly promising segment. So don't, if you have created that distinctive position and got your first 100 customers, then because it is very attractive to go into the general tutorial market, where you can actually at a time serve thousands of students. So it may appear to be very attractive that, okay, let's start the general IIT joint entrance coaching or medical entrance coaching, etc. services, and let's rapidly expand. If you try to do that, you may actually dilute your original distinctive brand position. So see that what is the maximum business. It may be better to go to other cities with your this offering, this special capability offering, rather than in the same city try to cater to
Be
all
everything
kind,
for
be
everyone.
everything for everybody. So being everything to some bodies, is maybe a better initial strategy than trying to be everything
for
to everybody to
Everybody.
start with, definitely. And even I would say in the early growth stage also, retain your distinctiveness as far as possible. Okay. All right. So we have some more questions which are of the either administrative type, or there are references to specific lectures. Those we will immediately put our responses out on the forum. If we are receiving more subject matter oriented questions, or if we find that there are questions which go into a gap area, or then we will take them up maybe in a subsequent session. There are questions also which, like for example, somebody has asked about rural marketing and how to approach rural markets. Now this is a subject matter in itself.
It's a topic.
We will take up these kind of issues, the rural market, or the market at the bottom of the pyramid, etc., in our advanced marketing session, which we will perhaps be airing in July, or maybe earlier. So big topics, please wait for the next part of this program, this subject. Otherwise, whatever we have covered during the last 8 weeks, questions pertaining to those will be now answered on the forum, and if we have enough number of good questions, we will have another live session. Thank you.
Thank
Thanks, Somnath. Thank you, Priyanka.
you, sir.